still thinking in your head when you see this, Brandon, oh my gosh, this is so elementary. I'd say, show me your perfect customer or client. Show me the paper. Is it written down? I don't want to hear about it in your head. I would say, show it to me. So many people are like, well, I did it like 3 years ago. It hasn't changed. And you're wondering why the results aren't there. I told you, I'm going to be raw with you guys today on this call because it's so important when someone comes to me and they say, I need help, for them to really be willing to put in the work to get the help. This means starting from the beginning. This means understanding that you need to understand the levels of awareness. We need to understand the perfect persona, and we need to understand the method that we're going to use to get these people through this process. So now that we have the idea from the first two, let's get into the perfect customer persona. We need to first know that clarity breeds cash flow. Depending on how much money you have available to play with in advertising, knowing your market is pretty much the only way not to go broke, because you don't have the capital to spend to invest over and over again. I know I didn't when I first began. I mean, hell, still you want to, as you make money, it's not like, oh, I can just go and throw more money away. It doesn't work like that. You still want to make sure that you're clear on your objective. You're clear on who you're serving, and you're clear on why they need you. And I'm actually going to give you everything you need today. So if you were even a smidgen unclear, you're going to walk away with 100% clarity today. Okay, I can guarantee you that. So stick with me and make sure that we're staying until the end, all right? Now, the identity is where you're going to begin with. That's what I like to begin with. Once you can understand their identity and who they are they a mother? Are they a father? Are they an athlete? You know, are they an executive? Are they whatever it is? Where are they at? And what stage are they in? What level of awareness are they in? And then you want to create your message for those that are in the scalable levels. Creating a message for those that are in the unscalable levels is only going to be a waste of time. It's going to cost you too much money. Once you understand their identity, you dive deep into their purpose. Deep into their purpose. I'm talking about getting so clear and detailed out about this. These are worksheets that I give my clients that we go into detail with. Okay, so I want you to take what I have right now as these questions, and I want you to detail it out yourself. Go through and start writing out the identity, the purpose, the value, the damaging thoughts, and the aspirations. Really pay attention to the damaging thoughts. If somebody took your thoughts that you told yourself about what you cannot do in your business and then use that in an ad copy, do you feel like they would relate a little bit more to you? Do you feel like it might catch your attention? Well, I believe so too, because again, it works. That's how it works. We want to make sure that we're using their own damaging thoughts and saying, look, we understand what you're thinking, and that's okay. The thing is that there's a solution for that, right? And again, we're moving them from stage 2 to stage 3. So you could see how understanding the purpose, the value, the damaging thoughts, and the aspirations are going to be helpful. Not just knowing it, writing it down, having it printed out on paper. I have so many things on my wall just in front of me that allow me every day to see who I'm talking to, what my message is, and why I'm in business. Very important. Now, once you have this understood, you can start getting into the situations and solutions that they face, or the situations they face and the solutions you offer. All we're saying here is, what problems are you going to solve? That's it. The rules for solving these problems, though, are very important, and I want you to make sure that you take down all 5 of these. If you pay attention to these rules, you'll be able to solve the biggest problem, get paid the most money, and create the biggest amount of trust in the shortest period of time. So rule number 1 is, when you're starting to create these lead magnets, you're starting to create these topics of discussion, you're starting to really understand what you're selling and what you're solving, what problem you're solving. Then you want to start selling that problem using emotions, not symptoms. So I'll use an example. A symptom would be a lack of leads. An emotion of that symptom would be embarrassment when you meet up with people at networking events and they ask, how many leads did you generate last month? And you have to lie. That's embarrassing, right? Or you don't lie and you just say the truth, and that's embarrassing, right? No matter what you do at that point, it's freaking embarrassing. So instead of that embarrassment, right, use my system, generate leads today, and feel comfortable walking into networking events, proud that you are the most dominant player in the field, right? Now I've been able to take that embarrassment and say, you know what? Yeah, you're embarrassed, but all you need is this. Turn that embarrassment around and start walking in proud. So you could see how we're selling through the motion. If I just said, hey, look, let me help you generate some leads, you'd be like, oh, cool. I probably need leads. Why not? But probably not. That's the way it happens. And most people are so generic with their messaging that they're selling to the symptom. They're like, oh, this person needs leads. This person needs sales. This person needs X, Y, or Z. It's really the emotion attached to it that's going to get them to buy into it. Now, this is where you have to be very creative without lying. And that's why I like to use metaphors, similes, and analogies. Rule number 2, when you're solving these problems for your market, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself to one problem. Don't limit yourself to 2 problems. We had to test 44 different lead magnets before we found 4 that stood the test of time. That's a lot of testing. I mean, that goes to show that people's interests change so often, and the actual, like the context in which they want the information or how they want to changes so often that it's very hard to keep up with. So in order for you to do that, you have to just create what we call pillar pieces of content. Now, you're going to want to have at least 4 of these lead magnets that can stand the test of time, because what's going to happen next is you're going to be able to take those lead magnets and turn those solutions, AKA lead magnets, into products, trainings, topics, different articles. You could do so many different things with that now that you know it's a problem that people will give you their email for. Like, let's say you're generating leads for like $3 or something, super inexpensive for, one of your case studies or something like that, or some type of PDF for helping other people generate leads. That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. But now we want to be able to take that PDF that's solving that problem and go, you know what? I wonder if people will pay me money if I go into more depth. I wonder if I actually created a little 4-part training series, I could sell it for $30. Maybe I could sell it for $97. Now we start to create, and I'll share with you in a second why that's so important. We start to create your liquidating offers. Now, rule number 3 is saying the same thing, but different. Don't feel like you have to, make 18 different things if you are in a position where time crunch, resources, whatever it may be. We figured out a way to condense time without sacrificing results. So all you want to do is, if you don't have, let's say, a lot of content created already, I'm going to give you a little bit of an out. That means that create one specific piece of content, okay? One case study or one checklist or one thing that we would use as a solution to your market's problems, giving that away for free. Create one, but then just use that one and turn it into a checklist, a guide, or a journey, just a regular PDF download, something like that. So you're going to take the exact same content, you're just going to reword it and then format it a little bit different as a deliverable. Okay. This way you only have to really solve that one problem. You're going to disperse it, deliver it 4 different ways. So as a checklist, a guide, a journey, something like that. That's going to get them now to say, okay, well, I like it like this. I like this topic delivered to me as a checklist versus a guide. It's crazy. We've seen costs double because it was called a checklist versus a guide. Same exact information, except for it was formatted differently so that when they actually downloaded it, it looked like a checklist versus a step 1, step 2, step 3 guide. Isn't that crazy? Something as simple as that could cut your costs by half. That's why it's important to test and test and test and to have this information beforehand. The 4th rule is the bigger the problem, the bigger the payout. Don't be afraid to solve a big problem, because you're going to see in a second why you can't really ever give away too much. Right? You really can't give away too much using our formula, but you want to solve the biggest problem possible. The bigger the problem, the bigger the payout. Then rule 5 is give everything that you have. In this PDF, checklist, guide, training, whatever it is that we're going to use to solve this market's problems, give everything that you got. I promise you it'll pay off in the long run. Less people will do what you want them to and then continue to do it on their own. Most people are either going to not do anything at all. They're just hearing you to see if you know what you're talking about. The second group of people are going to actually be the doers. And those are going to be the people that take what you're going to do or take what you're talking about, and they're going to go and do it. They're going to do it for a little bit, but they're going to do it long enough to get a result. And they're going to come back to you and go, I saw a little bit of ignition. It must work. Hey, let's go ahead and do some business together because I want you to pour some gas on this fire. That's typically the 2 type of people that you're going to be working with. So we want to make sure that the bigger the problem, the bigger the payout, and to make sure you give everything you have. So let's get into the what it looks like to create a perfect lead magnet, because when you give everything you have, some people are like, well, that's going to be forever. It's going to be a 30-page ebook. It's going to be a webinar that's 4 hours long. I can't give them everything. I don't want to fire hose them. And you're absolutely right to think that. So let's give them an actual formula. Let's give them everything that we can, but within reason, within a formula, so that we don't overwhelm them. Right? Let's do that. So the first thing that we want to focus on is the purpose of your actual lead magnet. The lead magnet, I have to slow down for this. The only reason you're creating a lead magnet is to deliver a quick win. It's not so that people think that you are that you deliver pretty pictures or that you design pretty PDFs. It's not for that. It's literally for the content on the page. So for you to be able to create a successful lead magnet that's going to convert at a high level, that's going to get you low cost leads with high quality prospects, you're going to want to keep the formula that we have here, SAGE, S-A-G-E, at the forefront of your mind. And this should be real exciting for you because it's no longer about you having to create this 30-page ebook. It's, look, let's keep it to one page. Sometimes it's 4 pages, but typically it's 1 page. 1 page that you can have that's easily consumed in less than 4 minutes. If it takes longer than 4 minutes for these folks to consume it, it's not easy to consume. Can we agree on that? So your goal is to create an actual lead magnet that can be consumed in less than 4 minutes. Okay? That is how you're going to get the lowest cost lead, solving the biggest problem with the most qualified prospects. Keep it short, actionable, goal-oriented, and easy to consume. Make sure not to put the cart before the horse either. Your design doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't. Don't pay a designer. Don't make it crappy, of course, but you can put it into a doc format. You can put it into Canva for free. I mean, you do not have to pay anybody to do it. It does not have to be the most glamorous thing in the world. What you're doing is you're testing the concept. You're testing to make sure that, do you really know your market? Do you really know the problems you're solving? Because I'm going to give you some market research in a second that's going to double down on that so you can confirm your thoughts and confirm your beliefs. Because we are never guessing in this market. Could you imagine going to the doctor and being like, hey, doc, I know I got surgery this week. Can you tell me where you're going to cut me open at? And he'll be like, oh, it's somewhere around there, somewhere in your chest cavity area. So maybe in your abdominal region. Or you'd be like, oh my God, can you just tell me where it's at? Like, you need precision. And that's what we give you here, is knowing exactly who's going to bite on this lead magnet, why they're going to bite on it. And then we could be wrong still, right? There's a chance that we could be wrong. So why would we want to put all this time and effort into it? Let's go ahead and see what the first, say 100 opt-ins, maybe 50 opt-ins, and start to see if we can get the cost that we want. Are people biting on the bait? If they are, then let's go back, redesign it, put some more effort into it, and then you could email all those that opted in the first place with the shitty version. Right? So this way you don't have to worry about spending 15 hours on a design that will never convert anyway. I've seen that happen. I'm talking $500 on a lead magnet, right? $300 to $500 on a lead magnet, to where they couldn't even get it to work because the title needed to be switched. It was a title switch. So imagine now you got to go back and pay for edits and revisions. It's unnecessary. Save yourself the hassle. Don't put the cart before the horse, and make sure you're focusing on leads first. Your list of buyers right now, if you were selling e-com, I'd say, perfect. Let's build you up a list of buyers. I've done it a million times. It's great. You can do that. But again, you're talking about buyers that are buying something for less than $50. Typically, I imagine if you're here right now, you're not selling your services for $50. If you are, then please send me an email, because we have got to have a talk. That is not something you should be doing. So we have to focus in this industry on leads. We have to, because the buyers aren't going to come until after you get them into stage 4 and stage 5. It's just not going to happen. You might get some folks, like I said, along the way, but your business model is not relying on folks up front to schedule a session to purchase from you long term. It shouldn't be, because your expectations are going to be skewed and you're going to run out of money before you can ever get through the front door. So I'm going to share with you exactly how to offset that in just a second. But the first thing we have to make sure we know about is how to create the perfect lead magnet and to focus on leads, not buyers.